Hey, everybody. The opening to our first podcast recording got a little messed up, so I'll do the intro here. This is a podcast focused on dynasty basketball, mostly with people I'm in a league with, and you'll hear some of those people here today if you're listening. It'll mostly focus on the league, but also on some dynasty analysis. We may bring in other people for some things like that to talk about it. But yeah, this first episode, you'll be introduced to some people in the league and we'll go over some rookie rankings. And thanks for tuning in. Sam, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, we're doing
everyone.
self-introduction, sorry.
Did you want to
We can,
introduce me?
we can skip
No, go
you
ahead.
if you want.
Do I say fun fact? What should I say?
Yeah, say a fun fact, sure.
Okay. I was gonna say what place I am in fantasy, but that's not gonna work for me.
I mean, that works. Basketball experience, interest in the NBA, fan, who you like.
Okay. Hey everybody, I'm Sam. I know some about basketball, not everything. Um, it's a ball knower, the fundamentals of basketball. Yep, I'm on the fantasy team with these two over here, and that's all I got really. Not in last place, so that's good.
True,
Not in last place. Actually doing pretty well
true.
for your
Yeah, I'm
first
winning
year playing
this week.
fantasy basketball. And I'm losing this week.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, I said both. Yeah, I said both. So you were correct on both sides.
All right, I'm Bentley. I'm your current fantasy leader. If you look at the standings and you scroll all the way to the top, you'll find my team. And you scroll down further, you'll see everybody else. I've been watching basketball. Well, I played basketball for a decade plus, all the way through school. Been watching basketball for 25 years at this point. I'm a big college sports fan, so yeah, obviously I enjoy the NBA as well, but college is really where I cut my teeth. Yeah, we're just here to have a good time and talk about basketball.
Yeah, nice creative outlet for all of us, I think. We all enjoy talking about this at work, so I think it's interesting to publish it so my kid can make fun of me in the future for the
True.
bad takes. Trying to get her into basketball hasn't worked yet, but maybe one day. But yeah, today we're gonna do a rookie tier list, and this is all with a dynasty tent, right? So the idea here is who would you put on a dynasty team, basically rest of career. There's going to be some guys that are older rookies that are going to be down some tiers probably, but are currently better players than people who might be higher tier. We'll see kind of how everybody values that, but we're all going to kind of pick a tier for these players, put them in, and then we're going to publish this. And this is on Tier Maker, so you can do it yourself. For maybe we'll get the whole league to do it, and we'll compare. I'd love to see what some of our league mates do when they find out who some of these players are.
Yeah. And they find out how many of them are on Ryan's roster.
Yeah, and yours, to be honest.
Well,
Sam, not a rookie person. She's not a.
or a picks person.
She's a cookie, but not a rookie person, as has been established by her. Uh, okay, well, let's start with the guy on the top left who, these are all college pictures. I believe that's Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
Ace Bailey, out of a legendary season out of Rutgers, as Bentley has said many times. He
Didn't even make the tournament.
loved the
Bum.
Rutgers season. He's now with the Jazz, of course, a very early pick in the draft. Kind of I think a lot of us would agree that he's a clay mold, right? They kind of want to shape him into what they want to shape him with. Utah's a good place for him to be because the team is not great defensively. They're actually okay offensively now that Keontae George and Markkanen have looked pretty good. Obviously, George with a huge year this year. So yeah, Sam, what's your opinion on Ace Bailey? If you have one. If not, you could just pick a tier and not say anything.
I mean, I think he's solid. I don't really think I would go S, I'm assuming is like really good, or is that
That's the
Yeah.
best. That's
okay?
Yeah.
the
Yeah. I would
that's
go
you
A or
go for those
B.
guys.
I would go A or B. Not a difference maker in terms of like winning games in clutch time, but I would say like okay, like you get the job done when you're out there, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think especially for 9 Cat, which is the league we play in, I think he is maybe not as valuable currently. I think in the future you're hoping like rebounding, some playmaking, like some playing the passing lanes, getting a block shot because he's long. I think there is some potential for a decent 9 Cat player, but Yeah, I think middle of the road. How about you, Bentley? Where do you like? What do you like about Ace Bailey, and where do you like him on the true list?
Yeah, the best thing about Ace Bailey is his size and athleticism, right? That's kind of what got him drafted where he is. 6'9", rangy, athletic. The unfortunate thing for him is that they have I guess Laurie's taller than 6'9", but they have someone that plays the exact position that Ace Bailey kind of hopes to become throughout his career in the NBA. How long Laurie stays in Utah, we don't know, but for the duration of his time, for Laurie's time there in Utah, Ace is just going to be behind him in the depth chart, and so that's going to be preventative for for our purposes of a 9-cat league. He's like those stats are just going to go to Laurie. So I would probably have him in the B tier. Ryan, you were much higher on him coming out of the draft than I was. Not an Ace Bailey guy. He's just not, if he becomes Jonathan Kaminga in the league, I feel like that's kind of what we're looking at. I'm not sold on Ace Bailey. He could turn out to be phenomenal, and I could be very wrong. And obviously, I hope that is the case because you want to see a lot of good players in the league. But I would put him in the B tier personally. I don't know if you guys feel differently or not.
Yeah, I'm fine with B. I do like him probably more than you do. I think Sam, right? Like solid currently, like not going to give you a ton, high potential. I think one of the highest in the draft. And I think that's, why he's with Utah. I do think there's a concern that he won't get a lot of playing time unless Markkanen goes. He could play the three potentially with Markkanen, but there's a lot of wings and fours in Utah. I think if there was a clear path to minutes right away, from a fantasy perspective, I'd probably have him as an A. But
Yeah.
I agree if it's going to take him 2 years to get 35 minutes a game, then, obviously you don't know what you're going to get. Though I will say I like the way Utah's bringing him along. They're not asking him to do too much. He's doing a lot of off-ball stuff, which I think is going to help him a lot, where he just doesn't have the ball in his hands doing whatever he wants, basically. So I do like what Utah's doing. So I'm cool with B. All right, who we got next? We got Asa Newell next, I believe. Another first-round pick, kind of a tweener. I think he's a little small to play the 5 and not skilled enough to play the 4, so he's kind of in an awkward spot for me. I do like the effort he gives. I think he's a good effort guy. I think he's got some potential to hit a couple different categories, like be solid at a couple different things. And in Atlanta, obviously, if Kristaps is gone, which I think it looks like it's going to be happening, if not this year, next year with his medical issues, I expect him to be pretty decent. So I actually think he's kind of BC somewhere in there. I'd be fine with C and I'd be fine with B. I don't think he's horrible. I think he's like either lower in B or upper C is kind of where I think. What do you think, Sam? We'll go to you. You big Asa Newell fan?
No, so I'm gonna go C
Okay. Yep.
because I don't know much about him. So if I don't know much about you, you're not doing B, A, or superstar material. And I'm gonna just keep it simple like that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Sure.
I would say hasn't done a lot to be noticed, so I think that's fair.
I mean, he's played in 33 games this year. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's been fine. Bentley, what do
Sure.
you?
That's D. I didn't say
Yeah.
not on the
No,
list.
I'm not.
Yeah, not on the list.
So Brian knows this. I was pretty high on Asa Newell coming out. I do think he has the potential to be very good. Ryan mentioned that he's kind of a tweener, so like the positional thing he'll have to figure out. If he ever wants to become a viable stretch 5 in this league, he's going to have to develop an outside shot. His mid-range is pretty good. He was good at that in high school, and then last year, this is really why I am pretty high on Asa Newell. He went to Georgia, right? Historically not a basketball school, and he had the Georgia team competitive in the SEC. They were ranked last year at one point in the top 25 of the country. He had that Georgia team competitive in the SEC last year, which was the deepest basketball conference I've ever seen in my entire life. The SEC was absolutely loaded last year, and Georgia was competing all the way through conference play into the tournament, with Asa Newell being the only player of note on that roster. Kind of the antithesis of what Ace Bailey did at Rutgers. I think Asa Newell has what it takes to play in the NBA. He's got a long way to go. Personally, would put him in B. Y'all both said C, so that I'll put him in C. It's fine with me. I'm not going to put up much of a fight there. I'm just higher on him than the two of y'all, it seems like.
Yeah, I think I'd have him in B if I felt confident about like another category being pretty good in his future. I worry blocks and steals will never be amazing. Like doesn't mean he'd be a bad defender. Obviously, blocks and steals are not always indicative of a good defender. Lots of guys get
Right.
lots of steals and blocks, and they're not actually good defenders. But I just don't know if he will get a lot of those. I feel like he'll need that to be pretty valuable, and his free throw percentage is terrible. It's like if you can't, as a big, I need something in one of those. I worry about that. So,
Yeah.
I think,
55% from the line. Not great.
yeah, it's a small sample. I think I don't know how many he's taken, but it can't be an insane amount. But, um, yeah, not great. Okay, I think C is fair with some upside. I think we can all agree with some upside.
He's got a lot more upside than some of the guys that are on this list. That's for sure.
Yeah, speak of the devil, Janai
He,
Broom is next.
Asanul was like a top 10 recruit coming out of high school
Yeah.
too. So it's like, it's not crazy to say that he has high upside.
Yeah, you just love him to be like 6'11".
Well,
And
yeah.
that's like the big problem, I think. But yeah. All right, Janai Broom, who I believe last week had a
Sorry.
50-point game in the G League. I think he had a 50-point game. I think he had like 50 and 17, which is an insane game. Even in the G League is an insane game. It's for a big. It's usually a very guard dominant scoring league. Uh, Great player at Auburn. Led them on to a very competitive season. Kind of an unconventional player. You watch him play, he looks a little awkward with some of the stuff he does. I think he is an NBA player, but I think he's an end of the bench NBA player more than likely. I think he knows how to win, which is I think a valuable skill. I think he's a good energy guy. He'll like be physical. I don't think he's great for fantasy. I know some people who are a lot higher on him, but yeah, I think D makes a lot of sense for me. Any disagreements? I think this is most people probably feel this way, but any disagreements there?
Yeah, he's just not going to play like that. He's like, he's Udonis Haslam 15 years ago, you know? He's end of career Udonis Haslam at the beginning of his career.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Which I think he could play 12 years and that wouldn't shock me. I don't think he'll play a lot in those 12 years. Sam, any disagreement? You have any strong opinions on Janai Peru?
No, if you're in the G League, you're D.
Well, it used to be called that actually.
The D League? Dang.
Yeah.
The developmental league.
I like that actually.
Yeah, actually a better name, funnily
Yeah.
enough.
That's nice.
They needed a rebrand for some reason.
Yeah.
All right. Next we have we got a box. We don't know what's in the box with this next guy. Carter Bryant, who plays for the San Antonio Spurs. Drafted out of Arizona. A lot of people think is going to be an all-time wing defender. That's kind of the hope, and that you hope the shooting comes around with that defense, and then you have an elite 3-and-D guy with a little bit of, I think, creation potential. Like he's very young. He came out as a freshman. I believe he's either still 19 or 20. I like him quite a bit. I was pretty high on him in the draft. I think San Antonio is building a great defense there, and he makes a lot of sense there. And I think he has a decent pathway to getting minutes there over the next couple of years. They don't have a lot of wings that I love, right? Devin Vassell I like, but I could see him easily being in that wing rotation, getting 25 minutes a game here in the future pretty quickly, if he can develop, especially if he can develop the three. So I would have
Yeah.
him as a B because of the potential. The steals will be high. He'll be an okay rebounder with the size, the 3-pointers. He's not going to turn the ball over much, obviously, because he's not going to have the ball much. But I think he could come out to be an elite 3-and-D guy with some slight playmaking ability for his position. So I would have him in the B. What do you think, Sam? You like Carter Bryant? Is he a Carter Bryant fan?
I think B is fine. I think with San Antonio, with Stephon Castle, I think it would be great if he could, get more on the defensive side and lock in there with those kind of wings. And then you said Devin Vassell, so I think B is fine. I don't really.
Yeah, they're building an elite defense if
Yeah,
Carter
I
Bryant
mean
can.
San Antonio's good, so I think he's on a good team to like grow more and everything too.
Famously great developmental team. He couldn't have gone probably to a better place. It's probably top 3 or 4 for a
Yeah.
player like him, I think. All right, Bentley, what do you think?
I for purposes of 9-cat dynasty, I think he's a C level player, and going forward, tons of potential. Right, he's got the build you want to be an elite wing defender in the NBA. Honestly, the role that he fits best is the Harrison Barnes role. Like if he develops to be that kind of guy, that like
Yeah,
a better defender, obviously, but playing that role for the San Antonio Spurs going forward, I think that's what you're looking for, and you feel pretty good if that's the case. We can go B. That's fine. I would have him in C, but that's majority
I'd have
wins
him
here.
lower end of B. So I think,
Yeah.
if he's C, he'd be ahead of Newell for me personally. Okay, I think that's okay. Obviously, we can have some times where we put people in between in the tiers as well, because I think there's going to be some differences inside the tiers as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe the next guy, I believe that's Walter Clayton Jr. Not 100% sure, but I believe it is. I think that's Walter Clayton Jr. there. It looks like a Florida uniform.
That is Walter Clayton Jr.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hate Walter Clayton Jr. with all my heart.
Why? Do you want
Because
to unpack it?
he beat the University of Houston, which funnily enough, I'm wearing a Texas Tech hat, and they beat University of Houston today. But they beat the University of Houston in the national championship game, and I imagine he's a lovely guy, but just not not my favorite guy. Yeah, you need this guy to be a scorer and a playmaker and a good free throw shooter, 3-pointers, classic traditional scoring guard type stuff. I don't know if that will ever be good enough to be great, but I think he'll be a solid NBA player with his shot making ability and probably an okay fantasy player. So I would have him in C. I don't think at his age, I don't see not that he's like ancient. He's, I believe, 23 now, but I just don't see at his age and his size ever being a high end, multi-category contributor.
I agree.
Okay. Easy
I'm
enough.
not a Walter Clayton guy.
Yeah.
So we hate him. Okay.
I don't hate him. I just don't. I think he's like a high floor, low ceiling guy. Like I don't know how much better he's going to get in terms of like how much further his talent can carry him rather than just learning the NBA game. I think he's kind of hit like a talent ceiling. He'll be better going forward just because he plays more in the league and like everybody else does.
Yep. Yeah. I worry that he won't get the playing time too. That's where he's at, because I do think they have a lot of guards there in Utah. So I do worry about that as well, especially since the younger guards are already probably better than him. All right. Sam, you a big University of Florida Walter Clayton fan?
Go Gators.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, C is
C or
fine.
D?
He's not
C?
doing any impressive numbers. I mean, he's getting points and stuff, but like, it's fine.
Yeah, might be a better NBA player than a fantasy player too. I think there's an argument there
Yeah.
that he'll be a more valuable NBA player than a fantasy player. Speaking of guy who I think is one of my favorite players from this draft, I hyped him up quite a bit. He's a great photo of him dunking there. Nick Clifford, who I believe is on Bentley's team. Am I correct? Is he on your roster? This is a terrible owner. Doesn't remember who's on his roster.
He
What kind of
is on my
franchise are
roster.
you running over there?
Hold on, let me scroll down in the standings. Well, I gotta scroll past the scoreboard. I'm winning 7-2, and in the stand. No, I'm at the top of the standings. Right. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, as the
Sorry.
Nick
That's what kind of franchise I'm running over here.
Okay.
as the Nick Clifford owner, you want to give your opinion on him?
I think he is obviously talented enough to play in the league and play at like a relatively high level. He's still fairly raw as you can be at 24 years old. So similar to Walter Clayton, I'm not sure how much more the talent could be developed. Just plays and learns the game at the NBA level and continues to grow that way. I think he will be a valuable 9-cat player going forward, especially for a team like mine, based off steals, blocks, rebounds. So I would put him in the B category. If you guys say C, I'm totally fine with that too. I'm a little biased. Obviously, he's on my team, like you said. I wish he got more minutes. We need to get DeRozan and Levine out of there so we can give the young guy some more minutes. He's never going to be a superstar, which is totally fine. Doesn't have to be. If he just plays at a solid level for another decade, like that's totally fine. I think a B rating for him is perfectly acceptable.
Sam, you watched a lot of Colorado State last year?
Yeah, I did like all the games.
What's their
Colorado.
let's
They're
make
in
it
Colorado.
easier.
The
What
Colorado
are their
State
school colors?
Coloradians.
I know the colors. It's gold and black, but
It's not gold and black.
there's a bird in the middle, right?
That's
Nope.
Colorado you're thinking of. That's
You're
Colorado
thinking of
State.
Colorado. And they are the Buffaloes.
You're thinking of Deion Sanders. We're talking
Oh
about
boy.
Nate Clifford.
Yeah. You're thinking of Tristan Da Silva.
Right, yeah.
He's
That's
on
who
my
she's thinking
fantasy.
of. That's true. Great German player.
As I watch the Orlando Magic right now.
Yep. All right, you got opinions on Nate Clifford?
I mean, if Bentley says B, that's fine. I mean, he's on his fantasy team. But if you're having limited minutes and you're getting 1 block, 1 steal, a couple of rebounds, then that's solid. So limited minutes and still putting up numbers, B's a good choice.
Yeah, I will agree with y'all. I think Bentley made the right point where if they get a trade out of some of their star players, I'm using air quotes, can't see them star players, that will help him a lot. I think he's actually really good for 9-cat. He does a little bit of everything. Bentley knows I was actually pretty high on him in the draft. Solid defender, playmaker. His big thing was shooting the three. He had a big 3-point shooting year one year, and then it was off some other years. I think he's gonna be solid at so many categories that I think just from a fantasy perspective, if he can get the minutes and the usage, he'll be pretty valuable and for the next 5 years or so. So very different than the other two guys in B. I think it's a B with a descending trajectory. That's much faster than the other two. All right. On
Move to the front because he's the front of B.
Okay, I'd have him probably behind Ace, but I'm fine with either one. We have a Duke legend next, Cedric Coward.
All right. That was just mean.
Who I believe I think with the rules now, he can still come back and play for Duke. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
So the rules
I'll
work.
get on the phone, see what I can figure out.
It's like, could he play on his off days at Duke? Yeah, Cedric Coward, a very unique story to get into the NBA. I believe that's his Washington State uniform, I believe, right there that he's wearing. I think that's correct.
Yeah, it is Washington State. Wazoo, baby.
He played at Division III basketball to start his college basketball career and worked his way up to Division I. I think he played 6 or 7 games at Washington State before he was out for the season, and people really liked him. They thought, oh, this is a guy who can play high level Division I, and he said, I'm going to go to Duke. And then the NBA was like, not only can you play high level Division I, we think you can play in the league today. And he said, that probably pays better than Duke, not by much, but but pays slightly better, and was a high draft pick, and I think has exceeded expectations amazingly enough, because a lot of people, they six games at Washington State doesn't tell you a lot about him, but he's been great in Memphis. I think Memphis is in a situation where they really need a player like him. I think he's our first A. I think he does a little bit of everything. Good defensively, good rebounder, can shoot the ball, solid scorer. I think he's averaging 17 a game right now. He's relatively young for the amount of time he played in college. I think he's 21 or 22 still, so he's not
20 half.
Yeah, so he's not ancient for the amount of years he played. He was a young freshman. I like him a lot. I think he's a 10-year guy that's going to give you good numbers across the board. Not at Duke, but probably in the NBA. So I'm gonna give him an A. I think he's my first A so far on this list. What do you think, Sam? You like Cedric Coward? I know you're a big John Morant guy. What do you think about his teammate Cedric Coward?
Yeah, I think A is valid just because John Morant, I think he's a good filler for his Jaws out every other day. I know that because he's on my fantasy team. But yeah, so if you're averaging, you said what, 17, 5 rebounds, 6 rebounds, as a rookie, yeah, I like that. So I'd give him an A.
Yeah, 14 points, 6.5 rebounds, 3 assists in 40 games this year.
Yeah, solid season.
I would put him in D because he should be playing at Duke this year, which would mean that Gigi Jackson is then getting more minutes in Memphis. No, I would also put him in A. He proved that he can come right into the league and contribute like almost instantly. So we talked about Walter Clayton. I said he was a high floor, low ceiling. I think Cedric Howard is a high floor, high ceiling kind of player. His ceiling is not like through the roof like Ace Bailey's might be, but I think that his floor has already been proven to be higher than what a lot of people expected of him coming into the league as a rookie.
Yeah, and I think seeing the skills already without the experience at a high level, like only playing 6 Division I games and already playing this way, you would hope that only just gets better as his experience gets deeper and he's able to get some playmaking ability. Second side creation, I think, is probably in his future. So I like him a lot. Okay, A, first A. Will we have an S? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pretty weak class.
All right. Yeah, it is a weak class. Yep, no one has done anything. All right, we got a unique player here. I think we may have varying opinions on this guy. Danny Wolf, who, Ivy League guy, ended up going to Michigan later on in his career. Kind of a 7-foot playmaker that doesn't shoot as well as you would like a 7-foot playmaker to do, and doesn't do a lot defensively for you. Okay, that's.
Oh, sorry. Misinput. Sorry.
I didn't even see it till I was talking. Yeah, I'm not a Danny Wolf fan. I don't see it from a fantasy or an NBA perspective, but I could very well be wrong. If he can develop a shot, I think he can be a serviceable big playmaker. I just worry if everything has to come out of like the middle of the floor. I worry that is probably not in his future, but yeah. I have him above Broom, but I would have him in D as well. Don't love him. Sam, you a Danny Wolf fan?
No.
He's real
But I will
tall.
say, I'm looking at his stats right now. He's averaging what, 4 boards? Not a lot of points. So you gotta get buckets in order to make get your name out there and stuff. So, but I mean, 4 boards. I would still go with D, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think I heard he's also quite a bit older too.
Yeah, that's true.
He's only 21.
Yeah, that's fair. He did what, 3 years, right? He did 2 at Yale and 1 at Michigan. Is that the case? Yeah. Yeah, not ancient, but slightly older for a rookie. Though there are some freshmen nowadays that are 21. I don't know how that happens, but apparently. All right, Bentley, you have him as D. Do you want to say anything about him, or you just want to?
Yeah, I think he's a guy that can last in the league for a while because he's big. The NBA just loves big guys. He's tall. I will say, if he can be a little more consistent shooting the ball from the outside, I think that would extend his career. But I just don't know that that's going to happen for him. He's slow at everything.
Yeah.
Maybe he could coach, Maybe he could coach.
Yeah, very skilled, but yeah, slow physically. And I think that, if he could be slightly faster with his skills, I think he'd be a solid NBA player. But I worry he's either a solid rotation player or out of the league into the first contract. That's kind of where I see him at. He's got to figure it out. He's going to get like 3 years and that's it. All right. Moving right along, everybody's favorite player here, Derek Queen, I believe that is. Yep, it is Derek Queen. Bentley, also the owner of Derek Queen in our league.
Yeah.
He loves Derek Queen, I know for a fact.
I do.
So
There's 3 of my guys on this chart so far.
And a lot of Duke guys. So, we got oh, who's your other one?
Well, I have Neek, I have Asa Newell.
Oh, that's right.
And
I have 3 of my guys are on here too.
Yep.
As a
Sam, how many of your guys are on here?
2.
Okay.
2 total.
You thought I was going to say 0.
I did. We just talked about Cedric Howard.
I know, he's not on my team.
Yeah, but that's your guy. Well,
She loves
Jaw's
such a
your
crowd.
guy, but
Ja, anybody who's around Ja, yeah.
yeah.
All right. I want to hear you where you'd put Derek Queen, Bentley, since you have him. Where would you put him?
I would put him in S tier, but like you said, Ryan, I'm higher on him than other people. Derek Queen has been dominant at every level of basketball that he's played for his entire life. He's huge. He's extremely fleet of foot. He is skilled with the ball in his hands. He could shoot it from the outside. He has touch around the rim. He's got everything you want for the modern game today on the offensive end of the court. If you ask him to play defense, it's a little different question, but we're playing nine cat fantasy and he's going to fill up points, rebounds, and he's going to get you some assists. He's going to turn the ball over, but that's because he is already a high usage player in that New Orleans Pelicans offense. I expect that number to come down with experience. He would be my first submission for S tier on this list. I will hear the case for him to be put in A, but I am going to put him at the top of the A list. He was a fucking blast to watch when he played with the Crab Five at Maryland last year. He did walk on that game-winning bank shot that he hit against somebody. I forget who they beat, but he hit a game-winning bank shot and he did travel. But that's okay because they don't call that anymore. Anyways, it wouldn't have been a travel in the NBA, which is where we are now.
Yeah, I wanted to put him in A just because you have him, but I have to agree. I think the steals and the blocks are pretty good too, even though I don't think he's an amazing defensive player. He does get some defensive playmaking stats, and that plus the rebounds, plus the passing. If the scoring just needs to be solid, and he's honestly a great fantasy player. I think he'll be a better fantasy player than he'll probably be an NBA player, interestingly enough. So I would, from a fantasy perspective, you hope that he's a good enough NBA player to continue to play,
Yeah,
so
sure,
that he's
sure.
so he stays a S tier fantasy player. But
He
that's
will.
where I would have him.
He will.
Sam, are you dissenting or do you agree? Derek
I'm
Queen
gonna
is a
go
S?
with C. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't hold rookies close to my heart the way you guys do, so S is fine with me. I do like the 7 or 8 rebounds that he's averaging just because that means you got that dog in you. So I'm cool with that. And you pass the ball well. So I like it.
Yeah, I think the passing's his probably his most valuable skill because it's a position that doesn't get a lot of that, right? There's not a lot of assist bigs. It's Jokic, it's Şengün, it's Sabonis. It's near the end of the list as like
Embiid.
a hot, yeah, Embiid when he's healthy, obviously. So Derek Queen, if he could even be near those guys, it's an incredible value because it's a position you don't typically get assists from. So it allows you to build very different teams, I think.
He's
All right.
averaging 12, 7, 4.5 assists, a steal, and a block a game.
Yeah. Makes
That's
a
pretty
three
good.
every now and then, once every 5 games or so. Uh, Turnovers are going to hurt you because his usage is going to be relatively high, and he tries some stuff, but hopefully that doesn't go up. It just kind of plateaus as he gets a better feel for everything. But yeah, I think he's very good fantasy wise. All right. Another Rutgers legend here, Dylan Harper. This is my guy. I love Dylan Harper. I think he's a walking paint touch. I think he's clearly the second best rookie in this class. I actually don't think it's particularly close. And I know people are going to laugh at that. I'm saying rest of career. Obviously, Khan and Flag have been the best two this year. That's not I don't think up for debate there. But I think Dylan Harper will clearly be the second best player in this class. And if he can ever develop a 3-point shot, he'll be an elite fantasy player because he's like I said already a walking paint touch. He's going to get assists just off that. He gets to the basket. He finishes at the basket at the level that a lot of bigs do, field goal percentage wise. So he's very efficient. He rebounds decently. He's got good size. He'll get some steals. I think he is a clear S tier and would be my favorite player on this list so far if I was to draft today.
Yeah, I
Bentley,
agree.
you got okay?
He's an S tier player. The finishing around the rim is incredible. If he has that already, I think everything else can just come along with time. And he's in the perfect spot to do it, right? They're not asking him to be the number 2 overall pick, right? Like a lot of teams draft a guy that high, they bring him in, they're like, all right, you're now the franchise. He doesn't have that. He can just develop at his own pace. And if he's not awesome right away, totally fine. They have other guys that can carry the load, and he just gets to do whatever he wants and figure it out on his own timeline. So I think he's in a great spot. I do think he's going to be awesome. Yeah, S tier for me.
Yeah, he's going to be slower to be awesome too. So if someone in your league is a winning team and they have him, I would try to get him because he's probably not going to be a huge contributor in the first year or two because Fox and Castle are there in front of him. But Fox and Castle, Fox especially, won't be there forever. He'll get more playing time as time goes. They'll probably have a 3-card rotation for a couple years, but this is a guy I see being a 20-point per game guy easily, especially if he develops a 3. He could push into the high 20s very easily, run an offense, and be the second best player on a team, especially with a team that has Wimby. Elite partnership, assist for him because of that partnership. It's a good spot. Unfortunately, in our league, the worst team in the league has Dylan Harper, so she will never let him go because I would love to get him. Uh, but if you're in a league and so a good team has Dylan Harper, I would give up some assets for him. Sam, what do you think? You like Dylan Harper?
Yeah, I would like to see more 3-pointers from him, but I think you guys made some good points about him just being more slower and things like that. And I think he right now he has the time to be able to do that with De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle. So yeah, I think it's solid. I think moving forward he's gonna be really great. And I think he's on a good team too, in order for him to just keep progressing and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's definitely a high potential guy and very young, 19 still. So like I said, he is a go out and get if somebody has him and they need somebody to help them immediately. I would give up a lot for him. So all right, on to the next one. This is a quick one for me. This is I cannot say his name because I've heard it 17 different times. But Yegor Dimin, everybody says it differently. I don't speak Russian, so I don't know. But Yegor Zhimin went to BYU, had a pretty solid year at BYU. I did not think he was a lottery pick. He went in the lottery in that Brooklyn 5 first-round pick draft. I had him in the 20s on my board. I don't love him, and you're seeing it now. Why I didn't love him? He cannot go past anybody. He's just to me, he is a second side wing creator. That's kind of his hope, I think. I don't think he'll ever be a primary creator, which I think where they drafted him, that's what they're hoping for. Maybe he figures it out and is able to use his body to do that because I don't think he'll ever have the quickness to do it. But the 3-point shot looks okay. Just doesn't get to the paint. What was it? He didn't make a 2 for like the first like 18 games or something, some insane number.
Oh, it was not that long.
It was a long time.
It was like 7 games.
That's a long time
But
to not make it to.
Yeah, but it wasn't 18.
His usage is way too high to not be doing that. But he's in a good spot to develop. I don't love him. I would have him in C if he was in and that's only because he's in a good spot to develop. I leave the opportunity that he does turn out to be a top 15 guy in this class. I'm skeptical of him, so I would have him in C, which I know is a little bit of a hot take. Bentley, what do you think about our Russian friend Yegor Dimman?
Well, as his fantasy team owner, I would probably have him in B for the simple fact that he's going to get minutes on that team. He's going to have the ball in his hands, and he is still fairly young. So it's like the opportunity is there to get better. I don't know how much better he's going to get. Like, obviously, he will get better because, just playing basketball over time, you get better. I don't know how far his talent is going to be able to go. For me, it's like low end of B. I don't think I have him in C, especially for our dynasty. Our 9-cat league. Like I said, he's gonna get the minutes. He's gonna have the ball. Like he's going to put up numbers. They may not be big numbers, but he's gonna get you points.
All right. Well, Sam, I think you're our tiebreaker then. If you have him in S, A, or B, we're going to put him in B. If you have him in C or D, we're going to put him in C.
Okay, so I have to put him in B, and because I like the 3-pointers, 3 is more than 2.
Yep.
Just
He's
basic math,
good
right?
at that.
And the rest of the rookies that we put in B are averaging about the 10 points or so that he is. So I'm just using logic here. So I'm gonna go B.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to B. I think it's fine. It's not where I would have him, but I'd have him high in C, so I think B. I thought Bentley was going to tell me like A or something, and then I was going to be like, I, I thought we were going to have to have a debate, but I'm fine with B. All right, now we got another guy that's a box because he's out for the season. Noah Essengate, the Frenchman, who I liked in the draft, though I didn't like that he skipped out on his championship game with Ulm. We actually talked about that on our former podcast, how I thought that was a bad move. He went to the draft instead of playing in the championship game of the German league, I believe. They're in the German league. I think it was the German league championship. His teammate on that team that did play is also on this list, who I thought made himself look better by actually playing in the championship game. I like Noah Essengate. I think he's an interesting prospect. I think he's a very high ceiling, low floor. I think he's a very variable player. He's long. He hustles, like when you watch him. I mean, he famously got dunked on, like very early on. There was a meme about him getting dunked on. I think everybody's seen it. But you can only get dunked on if you attempt to stop someone from dunking. So give him some credit for that. Uh, I think he could easily turn out to be a solid starter. With some scoring flashes and playmaking flashes for his size. Very young still. So I would have him like in B with who we have in B. I think I'd have him above Demon and probably above Clifford, but in like the Carter Bryant territory.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't expect that.
I like him a little more than I think other people do.
Yeah. Do you know how many minutes he has played this year?
Well, he's out for the season, so it's like 3.
Well, I was just curious because you said when you watch him and you see him run and hustle really hard, he's played 6 NBA minutes.
No, I don't mean NBA. I'm talking at Ulm.
Yeah, I know.
And also Summer League. I obviously watch Summer League as well, but which I think is where the dunk came from was Summer League. Because
it is.
Getting dunked on at Summer League should give you a roster spot.
Yeah, I mean he has yet to log an NBA statistic. So that's how I know that Sam doesn't know who this person is, because he literally doesn't have a box score.
And Sam has said many times she doesn't like the French. She's worried about their national team. I get it. I would
put him in the C tier because
don't know what you got.
I don't. Yeah, like there's no way to know at all.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
He might be good. Who knows? He plays in a franchise that historically does not develop their young guys. So
yeah, Chicago. Yeah. All right, Sam, you're deciding if you have him S, A, or B. This is the ultimate. Have you heard of this person?
You put him in B.
Yeah, I actually like him a lot. I think.
Okay, but you guys are basing it off of like what you know prior to the NBA, right?
Yeah, and I think he could.
I'm going D.
Basing it off of our secrets, Sam. Our secrets.
Yeah. Oh, this is a perfect example of why I have a no trade rule for Bentley, because he knows secrets that I don't know. Just do whatever you want. I'm gonna go D. He's irrelevant to me. You don't put up numbers, you don't get tier.
All right, so we'll put him in C.
So you guys do what you believe. That's all good.
That's fair. I appreciate Sam saying you're not doing. This guy is not on our roster in our league. He's a free agent, which, if my team was bad, my team's kind of middle of the road, but if my team was bad, he would be on my roster. But my team is not bad enough to have him sit a roster spot, basically.
Well, we'll see how the next weeks go for me. I might pick him up.
Yeah, if you start losing more, I would grab him.
We'll see how it goes for the rest of the week.
The non-playoff teams in our league should probably have him, in my opinion. Just to, especially one. One of our teams should definitely have him.
Sam is currently winning, but projected to lose.
Yeah.
What? Still? While I'm currently winning, I'm still projected to lose?
I'm also projected to lose, so don't feel bad. I'm up 7-2, and I'm projected to lose.
Like, you're up 7-2 for the week already?
Long way to go.
Stresses me out.
One more night.
Ugh.
Okay, I'm happy with C. I understand. Hasn't done anything. All right, let's move on. This guy, another interesting player that I think our opinions will differ on, Jeremiah Fears, I believe is who that is. Yeah, I'm not a Jeremiah Fears fan. I still don't think he's going to turn out to be great. I think he has too many things that he needs to get right for him to be a consistent NBA player, and I worry he is not going to be able to do that because it is so difficult. He is an incredible downhill player, but unlike Dylan Harper, he doesn't have the same finishing ability. He doesn't have the same playmaking ability. Doesn't have the size. He's a very tiny Dylan Harper, which without all those things, which is not great. Now his ceiling might be through the roof because of his athleticism and his ability to get downhill, but I worry that he will never be good enough to get the usage to justify like big spend, especially in a fantasy league, because he needs so many outlier things to be successful, and I don't think he gets there. But I still would put him in low B because the ceiling is so high. I do think it's very high, and I think I have to increase it quite a bit. But I am not a believer. I want to say on this podcast, not a believer. Though I hope he's successful because I don't wish ill will on anyone. But I'm not a believer. Who owns Fears in our league? Do you own Fears, Bentley? Who has him? Oh, I think it's
Garrick.
a Garrick has, but I'm playing him this week, and he's about to beat me this week. So I guess what do I know? All right, Bentley, what do you think about Fears?
Yeah, B is probably where I'm landing on him. I was not. I didn't think he'd be this good coming out. Like I just thought that he was going to turn the ball over left and right. Honestly, which I mean, he is turning the ball over, but not at the rate that I would have expected. Awesome down the hill, like you said. He can get to the rim at any point in time that he wants, but the finishing is a problem. Super high ceiling, like you said. I mean, you really covered it. Like he could be super awesome. He could be Allen Iverson, right? But it's just he's not there yet. He's going to be a high usage guy, so he's going to by default put up numbers as long as he plays. Um, he's a valuable roster addition if you can survive the turnovers.
So where
Sam,
you got him? Where do you want to put him?
I put him in B.
Okay. All right, Sam. We both put him in B. Do you have a difference of opinion on Jeremiah Fears?
No, I agree with everything you guys say always.
Famously.
I don't mind turnovers though from rookies, just because they're new and they're usually young. Whether you make a dumb pass or you're reaching a little too far, like you're trying, you're being aggressive. So the turnovers really aren't a factor for me, at least for the rookies. But obviously, when you're a little bit more seasoned, like relax, like own the possession of the ball and stop being silly. But B is fine. He's putting up good points and stuff. So
Yeah, I will say I wasn't opposed to New Orleans taking him because they need to take some swings. Same with Queen. Like I thought, I mean, the Queen trade was horrible, but the Queen pick I liked. So I think the high ceiling guys made a lot of sense. I had him at like 21 on my board though, like Fears. So I was pretty low, but I actually think the swing by New Orleans, you hope it works out. I just think him and Queen together are going to make a horrible defense if they play together for a long time. And they're going to need like three guys out there. They're going to be like a really bad Knicks team with a big who doesn't play defense and a one that doesn't play defense, and you need to have three other guys play a lot of defense. Sam knows that intimately, so I'm just trying to give you a metaphor there for you.
dang, I might really end up liking this kid.
All of a sudden, she's a big Jeremiah Fears fan. Except for he's nothing like Jalen Brunson, except for defensively.
Mm.
He's the exact opposite offensively. Defensively, very similar. Okay, I'm cool with that. All right, Cooper Flag. Does he get his own tier? I think that's the question. Is there a S plus flag tier?
I'm just
I
gonna
think.
hold the image up here.
I mean, we all agree he's an S. We don't really need to like go deep into that. But is he so much better than the second best person that we should add a flag tier?
I would be okay with that.
I think that's the case. I think I said Dylan Harper is clearly number 2 for me, and I still think there's a tier break where there are people the third, fourth, fifth person are much closer to Dylan Harper than I believe Dylan Harper is to Cooper Flag, and I think Dylan Harper is great. That's how good I think Flag has been already. My only criticism of Flag from a fantasy perspective is I would like to see more defensive statistics. His steals are okay, but I'd like to see some more blocks. I know it's just kind of the circumstance he finds himself in. He hasn't had that many. I think that's more of a positional thing than like lack of ability to do it. So I'd like as he plays the 4 more, I think with Davis not there, I think that will help a little bit. But S tier player, and I think a flag tier fantasy player. Does everything, and if the 3 points come along, he might be above flag tier.
This is a kid who started his NBA career a year earlier than most people, like most one and done players do, and played the first like 13 games of his career at point guard. What are we talking about? I mean, this kid, there's nothing that guy cannot do on a basketball court. Not a single thing.
Yeah, there's an argument that he's the greatest 18-year-old NBA player ever. It's him or James. Like that's the argument.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're right.
And like I wouldn't, I'm not saying he's LeBron James, but I wouldn't hate someone being like, I thought his 18-year-old season was better than LeBron James' 18-year-old season.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, sure, I could see.
Did
I
he
mean,
make the
it was
All-Star team? Do we know?
James. Yeah, he made it in
No,
2003.
Cooper. Yeah, I know James made it. Did Cooper make it?
I don't think he will, unless there's some injuries.
Yeah.
But all right, Sam, do you have flag outside of S tier?
I
I'm
will
gonna
hang
keep
up
him
this
in
call
S.
right now.
I'm not saying he's below that. I'm saying I'm going to keep it at S because I want more 3-pointers. But I do like the tempo that he sets. I think that's a real game changer for him, just because sometimes it's slow moving, just a lot of back and forth, and he can really change the pace and set a different tone. So I like it, but I'm going to keep him at S. Just shoot the ball a little bit more on the 3, but
Yeah, great spot too. Dallas probably not going to be very good. They look like they're on a path to rebuilding, which is I've argued they should be doing that. And if that's the case, I mean, he's even better as a fantasy player because his usage goes up. Other thing that's impressed me is passing's impressed me. I thought he would have his assist numbers are about where I thought they would, but I think his passing's been even better than I thought it would be this early. Averaging 4 assists. So like from the forward position, he's giving you pretty solid assist numbers already.
I think
But yeah.
his blocks go up as his career progresses because if you think about who he has played with, right, he starts the year playing alongside Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, like
Yeah.
just guys that are known for guarding the paint and affecting shots and blocking them, honestly, right? So it's like he did not draw the defensive responsibility of protecting the rim. I think that going forward, if the team handles it properly, he will have more of that responsibility, and he'll get a lot of like backside blocks.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very excited for the Derek Lively flag front court of the future. I think if Lively can stay healthy, like that is a scary future front court. And I agree that a lot of the weak side blocks will come with flag as Lively mucks up the lane with his length.
Yeah.
Flag's able to roam a little bit more as a defensive playmaker, which I think is really one of his big skills that we haven't seen a ton of just because of situation more than anything.
Yep.
All right, that was easy. This is Hugo Gonzalez, the Boston Celtics rookie, who I liked a lot. I had a first-round grade on in the draft. He's turned out to be decent with the Celtics in his limited playing time. I think he's a guy who can do a little bit of everything. You got to hope he can shoot, I think, to stay on the floor, especially with the way Boston plays. But yeah, I see very young. He played at Real Madrid at a very young age and got minutes, not a ton, but got some minutes. So I trust the skill there. I think the fantasy profile is actually pretty decent because he has a wide range of skills. I would have him high C, but I could see in 2 years me being very wrong and he could be like a bottom A guy. I think that's kind of the range for him. But right now I would have him high C just because he doesn't have a great path with the Celtics once Tatum comes back. Sam, I know you watched the Spanish ACB, so what do you? Who's your favorite Real Madrid player?
Luka Doncic.
Yeah, Luka Doncic. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna rate this dude as C just because he's not really a difference maker, and I think he needs to work on his free throws. So C
Yeah,
is good with me.
I would like him to make some free throws. I agree. He's shooting 53% from the from the free throw line, which is not a good sign if you're thinking he's going to shoot one day. Just typically not good. Bentley, where you got him?
He is in the C tier behind Asanul for me.
Yep, I'm cool with that.
Not really in order, but kind of.
Yeah, no, they're
Yeah.
verbally in order.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to play when Tatum is back. Like, he'll play, but, how much?
Yeah, if you're rebuilding, he's good because 2-3 years he might be where he's really gonna be valuable, I think. But he's a raw player for sure. All right,
This is your
everybody's
boy.
favorite player currently on my roster, Hansen Yang from China. Shock pick by Portland. A lot of people thought he was a late first to late second. Some people thought there was a wide range, and he went middle first. Portland scouted him a long time. They really liked him. Kind of surprised me with them having Klingon already, which made me think they thought they could potentially play together in the future. I don't currently see that, but I could see kind of what they saw with Yang's playmaking and Klingon potentially developing a 3-point shot, though that's been very inconsistent. He could potentially be an incredible fantasy player just with his passing ability, his scoring ability. He's slow as molasses, though, and he could not guard well in the CBA, which makes me very worried that he'll never guard well in the NBA because the CBA, if you don't know, not nearly as talented as the NBA. So I worry about him. But I think the ceiling's high. If he figures it out, it could just be an average defender. I think his fantasy profile is pretty good. So I would have him in C again. He's in like the Hugo Gonzalez kind of territory for me personally. Your size, so he gets a little bit of a bump.
Yeah.
Sam, what do you think about Hansen Yang?
I don't know much about this dude, so I'm good with C. He kind of seems like a D to me, but you would know better than I do. I'm good with C.
You can't put him in D because he doesn't play any, so it has to be in C. All right, Bentley. What do
He.
you?
This is a tough one, right? To most people, kind of came out of nowhere on draft night. You're like, oh my god, who's this? Electric highlight reel, though. Like the Twitter clips of him are awesome. Will he ever be able to do those things in the NBA? Probably not. He's more than likely going to be around first. He'll probably get it. He's like a second contract guy, not a max second contract, but he seems like a second contract guy because he is so young and so big, and the offensive basketball IQ is there. He's unfortunately playing behind Donovan Klingon, who's a guy that I really like coming out of school, so that's not great for him. But 7'1" guys are not easy to come by, and if he can stay healthy and continue to progress offensively, I think he has a spot in the league. So I think C is probably where he belongs.
Good for me. All right, Jace Richardson. Bentley, you're a Jace Richardson fan, aren't you? Do you like Jace Richardson?
I do like
Why don't
Jace
you
Richardson.
why don't you pitch Jace Richardson as a? I mean, fantasy's obviously different than his NBA potential, but
Yeah.
pitch him to
Sure,
me.
I'll talk about Jace Richardson. Jace Richardson played at Tom Izzo at Michigan State. He was very, very good there. Comes into the league. I believe that was the Desmond Bain deal after the draft? I think it was
Before,
after the draft. Was it before? Okay.
I think it goes before. Yeah.
Either way. So he goes to Orlando, where he essentially he's like the carbon copy backup for Desmond Bain, and not in terms of like physique or player, but in terms of role. Like what they want Desmond Bain to do is shoot the ball from 3, and what they're asking Jace Richardson to do is shoot the ball from 3. He's very good at it. Doesn't play a ton of minutes. The Desmond Bain thing kind of poo-pooed that opportunity for him, but that's okay. I like Jace Richardson. I think he could play a long time in this league, just given his athleticism and his ability to shoot the ball. Those are two valuable things that'll take you pretty far in the NBA. So I would have him. Fuck. Just looking at the players on the list, I have him in the C tier in front of Hugo Gonzalez. Because I think that he is. When Tatum comes back, Hugo's minutes are going to go down, but Jace's minutes only have the opportunity to go up, really. Especially with the health of their backcourt, which is just always hurt.
Yep, don't disagree. I'd have him in C as well. All offensive categories, and you hope some steals. I mean, that's really for him to be a good fantasy player. Obviously, he needs to be a good NBA player as well to get the usage he needs, but I would have him in C as well. No notes, as the kids say.
Nice.
Sam, I know you love your short kings, so what do you think about Jace Richardson? He's 6 foot flat, allegedly.
That's
I
crazy
know.
that that's a short king, right? Oh no,
I
he's
know.
currently on my screen.
I wouldn't know we're so much taller.
He's currently on my screen right now getting some playing time, so that's good
Yeah.
news. Yeah, no, C is fine. He's not hitting big numbers and everything. I think Bentley made some good points with Desmond Bain, so she's good. Good job, Bentley.
Thank you.
I thought he has played well the minutes he has gotten. It hasn't been a lot, but I thought
Yeah.
he's played relatively well. I am more positive than I was before. I'll say that. Okay, C for Jace. All right, I think that this guy will be about our halfway mark, and I think we can stop it and come back and finish the rest later. But this will be, I think, a good stopping point because I think this guy's very interesting. I believe this is Jean Berenger. Unfortunately for Sam, another French player. They're everywhere. This is a guy I'm very high on. I talk about Jean Berenger all the time. It's actually I've been thinking about a tattoo recently, but I can't spell it. So, he's a center, a very skinny center, but a center, very raw, flashes a lot of defensive ability, finishing around the rim. Might remind you of another French center that he plays behind currently, funnily enough. He obviously plays for the Timberwolves. And I think when Gobert is gone, this guy is going to be the prototypical lob threat, block shots, rebound. He'll get some steals too, I think. High field goal percentage, low turnover. Really a Bentley build. His team is kind of that style of player. So I actually like this guy a lot. I would have him in A. That's how high I am on him, which I know is a hot take to have him above players like Ace Bailey and Carter Bryant and those guys. But I like him that much. He is a very, very high ceiling guy, and I think is a good archetype for a long career in the NBA, which obviously has value if your guy plays longer than his rookie deal. Yeah, Sam, this is a tall player. What do you think about Jean Berenger? Besides the being French part, I know that's really your major criticism, but if you can get past your biases, what do you think about him?
Mm. You said A, right? Okay. I don't really have an opinion on where he's going. A little confuses me a little bit, but I mean, if you're playing behind Rudy Gobert and all that, then these are the numbers you get, averaging 2 rebounds or so. But if Ryan says A, then I'll go A, but the numbers aren't speaking A.
Well, Bentley's going to agree with you. He's going to not put him in A. I know that. So maybe you'll have an opportunity to change your mind here.
Yeah, I like Berenger. Don't get me wrong. He plays 6 minutes a night. If you're the heir apparent, you probably they got to give you more than that. I'm fine with B because I think the ceiling is so very high on him. He's in an awesome spot to learn from, the best defensive player in the last decade in the NBA. So he very clearly is in a developmental role there in Minnesota. The minutes thing, I did kind of tongue in cheek, right? You should play more. That's a team that's trying to compete and win a championship this year. So they're going to rely more on their vets, especially in the Western Conference where it's like every single night you have to win. So it makes sense that he's not playing a ton. I would, for fantasy purposes, I would like to see him play a little more, but I'm I would go behind Ace Bailey in B tier above Carter Bryant, personally. We can put him in A since y'all both are cool with that.
I think B is fine. I'm not opposed to B.
I'm cool with B. I don't have an opinion on the rating, but A wasn't making sense to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
statistically, he is not currently an A player.
Yeah.
But
You're feeding off
very,
the potential.
yeah, this is rest of career. Like if you were trading these players straight up for each other, like what would his value be? If I'm a rebuilding team, this is a guy I'm putting on my team, like 100%. He's in there with the Gays of the world. I trust him to be successful as a very raw prospect more than I trust all the other raw prospects we've talked about already. So, all right. Well, I think this was a fun inaugural episode. If you're watching, you'll see we have a couple more to finish. I think we'll do a second episode and finish these at some point. Yeah, I appreciate y'all being here on what is currently being called the No Ball Podcast, which is the name of our league. Patent pending.
If you look closely, Caleb is trying to.
Hey, there's another North Carolina guy on there too.
Bums. All of them. Fuck, it's out of order now.
That's okay. We don't need it to be in order.
I do know who Caleb Love is. I can spot that one out.
Yep. But thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate the analysis. Sam's learned a couple new players today, which will help
I wrote
her.
it all down.
Part of this podcast, I think, is we want the people who are in Sam's shoes to hear what she has to say so they can learn as well at the same time. I think that's valuable. Bentley has heard of all of these people and has opinions on all of them, and I have as well. But we have other people in our league who maybe don't see this as well, and we know in your leagues as well that's the case. So
I have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
So let's say Rudy Gobert's sitting or whatever, and Berenger is playing, and like Mike Conley is out, so they have to play Dillingham. Would that then be like the skinniest lineup ever in the NBA? If you run Dillingham and then Ant, who's obviously not skinny, but then Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and Berenger, is that just like the skinniest lineup ever to be put onto a
Skinny.
basketball court?
I do believe Anthony Edwards is the heaviest shooting guard in the league, so he kind of
He
covers
is.
for everybody.
You got to take that one out, right? But like,
If you can take Gobert and Edwards off and Randall, because Randall's a big guy too, to be fair.
yeah, well, that's why I said Naz Reid, not Randall.
Yeah, they do have a lot of skinny backups as well.
Yeah.
They are skinny. Joe needs to put some muscle on, but he's young. He's 19. I'm not super worried about it. But you're
He'll
right.
be fine.
You're right. Naz Reid is relatively skinny too for his height. Great question. These are the thought-provoking comments I want, and I appreciate. Next question is, can you win with 6'5" players and under? We already know the Rockets tried it. It did not
Yeah.
work. But,
Well, it helps if you don't miss 27 3-pointers in a row.
that's true. Thank you for reminding me. So, yeah, thanks for coming. Hopefully
Payback
this will
for
be
Cedric Coward.
This will be posted in 2 parts, but we'll record. These will be recorded separately, so it'll sound a little different. But I'm going to post them all at once, so everybody can listen to them, whenever they want. Thanks for coming, guys. And as we said in our previous podcast, we are out.
Oh, yeah, we did.